For the warm-up, we're finding the image of P at -4, 6 under the following transformation. So transformations are ways that we can take shapes, points, graphs, and kind of move them around in certain ways. So there's translations, that's movements left, right, up, down. There are reflections, which are like mirror images across the line. And then there are rotations, which you are spinning things about a point, a certain direction, and a certain amount of degrees. So the first one says we're going to find the reflection of P across the x-axis. So I just have to kind of draw in the x-axis. I'm going to pause first. All right, so I drew in just a line segment because you need something to reflect over. And now I'm going to select my point. I'm going to label this actually with the numbers. This is point P. And we're going to reflect it across the x-axis, which is this one. And you see that when we reflect across the x-axis, the x-coordinate stays the same, but the y-coordinate changes from a +6 to a -6. The next transformation is a reflection across the y-axis. So I drew in a line. Just in this program, you actually have to draw in a line. You can't use the axis itself, but I drew in a line on the y-axis, and I'm going to select this point and reflect it across that. And notice that it is what we call a perpendicular bisector between here. I'll draw that line in here so you can see it. Maybe something that comes up too. This line here, it's a perpendicular because it makes a right angle, and it is a bisector because each side of the y-axis is the same distance. I'm going to remove that though. But you see when we reflect across the y-axis, now our y values stay the same. They're both 6, but our x values change sign. Our last reflection is reflection across the line y equals x. Y equals x is a function. It's a linear function, just where our slope is going up 1 over 1. It just makes kind of a perfect diagonal here. And what technically happens for this one, let's go ahead and reflect it. So select the point, and we're going to reflect that across this line. I don't think it did it. Hold on. I'm sorry, I had to draw in the line. It didn't like reflecting it over the graph line. But we're going to do the same thing again. We are going to select this and reflect it across this line right here. And now you notice that our coordinates are flipped. It is -4 for an x, now becomes the y, and the y now becomes the x. So those rules, I'm assuming, are something your teacher wants you to memorize, because I think I saw in some of the other documentation like what happens to all the coordinates when you are doing certain reflections on them. So it's something you probably want to take some notes on.